Am I my brother's keeper? Thousands of years ago there arose a question in humanity's heart, am I my brother's keeper? It is still being asked. Until this is fully answered in our hearts in God's way and put into practice in our lives, we cannot hope to have the fellowship that is our rightful heritage. When we fail to reach the mark of the high calling that is realized in service, we endeavor to justify ourselves by making the old inquiry, only to receive the answer, the voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. No wonder we are miserable and cast down, and have fears that paralyze our efforts. Is it not because we know in our hearts that sin lies at our door? Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. God gives only love to his children and pities them even as earthly parents pity their children. It is only when we sever relationship from divine love by failing to suffer with our fellow humans, to bear their burdens, and to forgive them that we are out of harmony and sympathy with all that makes life worth living, fellowship with the Father. Have we not at some time realized this? If we would be in a position to commune with the Spirit within, and if we would seek to know His face, then let us be kind and gentle, compassionate and loving to others less fortunate. Manifesting love for our neighbor is manifesting love for God, in whom we live and move and have our being. We are enjoined not merely to ignore the shortcomings of our neighbors, but to love them in spite of their shortcomings, and to show such faith in the power of the Spirit within them that they will catch our vision and in time come to realize their strength and seek to rise to higher planes of consciousness. We need not flatter them or lead them to overestimate their strength, rather we should help them to understand themselves and to know that they have a friend who will stand by in time of need, one who will extend a hand if they are about to fall into temptation. This answers the whole duty of humanity to humanity, of neighbor to neighbor, and of the individual to his or her maker. For inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. The test is this. Are we willing to deal with others as we wish them to deal with us? May we ever be bound together in service to others through the fellowship which we have in Him. Does mankind consider he is indeed his brother's keeper? And this is the manner in which man may answer the question. There will be no wanton bread for mankind when mankind eventually realizes he is indeed his brother's keeper. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and the bounty in one land is lent to man to give his brother. Who is his brother? Our Father, then each of every land, of every color, of every creed, is brother of those who seek the Father, God. This instill as ye interpret. Be faithful to the trust given thee. Let that rather be thy watchword, I am my brother's keeper. Who is thy brother? Whoever, wherever he is, that bears the imprint of the Maker in the earth, be he black, white, gray or grizzled, be he young, be he attentate, or on the throne or in the president's chair. All that are in the earth today are thy brothers. Those that have gradually forgotten God entirely have been eliminated, and there has come, now, and will come at the close of this next year, the period when there will be no part of the globe where man has not had the opportunity to hear, the Lord He is God. And, as has been indicated, when this period has been accomplished, then the new era, the new age, is to begin. Will ye have a part of it, or will ye let it pass by and be merely a hanger-on, or one upon whom your brother, the Lord, thy Christ, may depend? Remember, He has given thee father, mother, home, opportunity, possibilities that are within thine own grasp now. And the meanest, the littlest man in the world is one who is unappreciative of what has been done, what is being done. That is why man, when he forsakes God, feels so low, becomes so little in his own sight. There will be offered those conditions wherein the entity will be able to make large quantities of money. The entity will do well to see that the resources, however, of these, and from which these monies would come, is not at the expense of those of his fellow man, of whom there may be in after time that required of the entity as of the blood of his brother crying from the ground. For nothing happens by chance. There may be opportunities for thee, not only to help others, but to be helped by others. For all that ye may ever keep is just what you give away, and that you give away is advice, counsel, manner of life you live yourself. The manner in which you treat your fellow man, your patience, your brotherly love, your kindness, your gentleness. That you give away, that is all that ye may possess in those other realms of consciousness. And then when an entity attains to the realm of the physical consciousness, such as these may bear fruit in thy life, in thy associations with others. Yet when the entity came under the influence of the healing of body, of mind, seeing hope and love, brotherly kindness and gentleness and patience shown among those where turmoils and strifes so often arose, it, as many another, joined with those activities, as Emilio. And as the entity aided those peoples in separating the various tenets for the application of the various groups who journeyed through that particular land, the entity grew in grace, in knowledge, in understanding. Just so in the present, as the entity applies the seed of the Spirit, patience, faith, hope, love, gentleness, kindness, it may see the fruit thereof in its own environs, as well as in the activities of others. For know, ye can only labor in the vineyard of thy Lord, thy God. He alone may give the increase. Who then is thy Lord? Who is thy God? What is thy belief? Who is the author of same? And unless it is founded, as in the experiences then, as in the experiences later, in the creative forces which arise from his desire that each soul would know its maker and become a companion to that which is the creative force, knowing itself to be itself and, as the Son, one with him, then it is not constructive. In the experience then the entity gained much knowledge as to judgments of peoples, as to their purposes, their abilities, and the ways and manners to encourage them through helpful suggestions that each soul or entity feels arise from within self. For to help one to help himself is greater than giving, without the ability of the one receiving to see. Hence as indicated, it is better to give than to receive. For only that ye have given do ye possess. Please give me some counsel and advice regarding my home that will help me to carry on. As indicated, first the harmony sought must be within self. And then, when you are sure of yourself, call those about you, not as a law, as an edict, but as a desire for the creating of the harmony, not that you hope for, but that you have within yourself. This will make, build and create harmony in the others. And we will get much more cooperation than otherwise. Just remember, you catch flies with honey, not vinegar. Keep the mental in the attitude of constructive forces. See in every individual the body contacts that which is hopeful, helpful. See good in every one. Do not look for others' faults, but rather for their virtues, and the virtues in self will become much more magnified. For that we think upon, that we become. In our mental world we create that which is manifested in our spiritual as well as our material conditions. Hence in thy activity, minimize faults, condemnations, of others and of self. Magnify the virtues for these are to be made into the glory of him who hath indeed shown the way. Give me any other advice which would aid me at this time. Keep the mental attitude in that of a constructive nature. Find not fault with others. For these but magnify thine own shortcomings as in the eyes and minds of others. Let thy watchword rather be, that as the Lord hath need of me, may I in humbleness of mind be used as a channel of blessings to others. May that I think, do, be in accord with that I would have thought of and done to me by others. And it is only as ye deal with thy fellowmen that ye show forth his love. For as ye do it unto the least of these, thy brethren, ye do it unto thy Maker.